Hello everyone, this is Noelle Russell, and today we are going to talk about some of our favorite healthy snacks for kids. So I'm a mom of three. I have a 10-year-old, an 8-year-old, and a 6-year-old. So I'm going to go through kind of what I look for in kids snacks. If your kids are anything like mine, like most kids, they don't always eat a ton at mealtime and like to snack a lot throughout the day. So I'm always working really hard to get in good quality meals for them. But regardless, they're growing, and so they're eating, their stomach fills up quickly, and then they want a snack throughout the day. So the toughest thing, I think, is there is so much marketing from the food industry to push processed foods and make them really appealing to kids, okay? So my number one tip when it comes to snacks for kids and trying to make them healthy is to read labels. Obviously, if you're doing something like fresh veggies, fruit, anything that's not processed, you don't have to worry about it. I have a priority to buy organic produce, so there's nothing to worry about there. But when you start to get to things like crackers and cereal and that kind of stuff, it's really important to start reading labels. So just a couple tips. The things I look for, and we're talking about crackers, that kind of stuff, when you look at the label, I try to avoid things that have artificial dyes, definitely artificial sweeteners. That's in a lot of stuff. Sugar, I check the sugar, the added sugar content. So basically looking at those high fructose corn syrup, we try to stay away from anything that has that, which that's in so many things geared for kids. So just get used to reading labels. Besides just looking at, protein, carbs, fat, calories, that kind of thing, you want to look at the ingredients list. And usually the first three things listed are going to be, or it goes in order of, the first thing listed is the highest amount in that product. So if sugar or some form of sugar is one of the top ingredients, then that's kind of something you want to look at, especially if it's high fructose corn syrup, which is not great for your body. Okay, so that's my number one tip. Read labels, look for added sugar, look for added salt, and look for artificial ingredients, okay? The artificial dyes can have a big impact on your children and their behavior. So we try to stay away from that. And that's one thing that I really work on with my kids is reading labels. When we're in the store, when we're at home, when they ask for something, I'll say now that my youngest is reading, but not superb yet because she just finished up kindergarten. But with the older two, for sure, I'll say, okay, take a look at the label. Are there any dyes in it? Is there high fructose corn syrup? And now they're getting that into their head of, okay, let's read the label and see what's in it. So one thing I do when I'm talking to my kids is try to teach them why we want to avoid something or why we want to promote something in our kitchen. All right, so we'll get started with some of our favorite snacks. Okay, number one thing, if I let my kids just go to the pantry and pick whatever they wanted, they're gonna go for crackers, chips, that kind of thing. All right, so granted, I know this is, it would be great to say that my kids don't eat any processed food. We don't have any processed food in our house, but we do. I like to kind of teach balance to my kids, to give them healthy options, but also let them have a little bit of say and some choice, because most kids are struggling for finding their voice, struggling to get some kind of independence, and giving them the power to make choices is really great for them. So what I try to do is slowly weed out some of the things that I don't really want them eating all the time, and starting to stock our pantry and our refrigerator with things that are good for them, and then letting them have some choice in the matter. So when it comes to crackers and that kind of thing, we really like this Annie's brand. And I'll tell you why. A lot of their products, this is like a snack mix. We have that. This would be a healthier alternative to like Cheez-It crackers. They have these cheddar bunnies that are like a healthier version to goldfish. They have graham crackers, which would be a healthier alternative. So it's not perfect, it's just a step up and healthier. A lot of their products are organic, so they're made with organic wheat. A lot of the issues with wheat that's used in products out there is what's done to the crops, the chemicals that are added to the crops, how they're processed, that kind of thing. So this will have some better ingredients in it, this brand. That's their mission. And then also you won't find things like high fructose corn syrup. They don't use artificial dyes, synthetic ingredients. So still processed, still like a kid snack item, but it's kind of just a step up. And what I like to look at, or my kind of mindset, is sometimes you have to go for better before you can get to best, right? So I don't sit around snacking on crackers like this ever anymore, but I do let my kids have that choice. I've just started to transition to some better brands for them, okay, if that makes sense. So this Annie's brand, they have tons of stuff, but I try to find brands where their mission is more of better ingredients, taking out the artificial stuff, and trying to make things healthier, okay? So this Annie's brand, we really like for crackers. Okay, when it comes to things like chips, that's another thing I've kind of transitioned mostly out of my diet. Another brand that we love is called Jackson's Honest. And they have these potato chips and sweet potato chips, which are one of our latest, greatest things here. And basically the only ingredients in here are non-GMO, which is genetically modified. So they're not genetically modified potatoes, coconut oil, and sea salt. That's it. So if you're looking at another big thing to look at is the kind of oils that are used in products. There's a lot of oils out there that cause inflammation in our body. Coconut oil is a healthy oil, so that's what's in here. And I haven't found too many brands that use healthy oils like that. So those chips we really like. I personally really like. They also have a tortilla chip that is just organic yellow corn, organic coconut oil, and sea salt. That's it. My kids like these too. A lot of things that I bring in, as soon as there's a new thing, it's like, warning, 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 this is something new, I'm not gonna like it. Okay, my kids are just like your kids. But what I try to do is just like, okay, let's try it. And then I kind of transition into just buying the new thing, and they don't have that old option anymore. And the more I reintroduce it, the more I have them try it, the more they've transitioned to like, oh, okay, I like this. It's not a big deal. So the more you introduce things, the more you expose your kids to it, the more they get used to it, and then eventually they'll end up liking it. So those are kind of my top things for chips. What else? Going to some healthy things. I always in my refrigerator have fresh fruit cut up and ready to go. I always have veggies cut up and ready to go. So celery sticks with any kind of, my kids don't have nut allergies, so we have peanut butter. I love sun butter personally, which is sunflower seeds. So if you have kids with allergies, this one is great. No sugar or salt added to it. And I have these little plastic kind of self-serving cups that I can put a couple teaspoons in and close it up and pack that in their lunch. So that's a great option. These little carrot chips, I don't know if you can see them, they're kind of sliced into carrot chips. That's another one. We buy the little baby carrots as well. But these little carrot chips are a little bit easier to crunch on for my kids. So we always have that kind of stuff as well. When it comes to veggies, so some of you might say, oh, my kids don't like raw veggies. That's something that I have encouraged. So we kind of have a general rule during the school year that when it's getting close to dinner time, if you're absolutely starving, I'm starving too because I'm waiting for dinner too, your option is raw veggies. I do let them have some dip. They kind of prefer different things. But your option is raw veggies before dinner. And you know what? When they're really starving, they'll eat the raw veggies. That's something I've worked on. Another thing that I try to do is just give them a small amount. When they were younger, I just give them a small amount and encourage them to have, a couple pieces of whatever the vegetable is. And like I said, the more I put it on their plate, the more I put it on the plate, the more they get used to it. So I love having those. We have a little produce store, and that's kind of like the freeze section. Like if you're hungry, you can go and get raw veggies anytime you want to. So that's an option as well. Some other fresh things, I've been staying away from dairy, but my kids are all okay with it. They like they're little tiny rectangles. I don't know if you can see them. This brand I buy at Earth Fare. So something like that, some organic, Horizon Organic makes these cheese sticks, found them at BJ's in a big pack. And my one daughter, not organic, I prefer to buy organic dairy, but these little Baby Bell cheese things, she thinks those are really cool to peel open and eat. So that's a good way to get in a little bit of protein for them as well. It's kind of like fun size for them. So they like eating fun shaped things, right? They're kids. Okay, fresh stuff. Something I always have on hand is applesauce. That's something if you want to take a look at, a lot of brands have tons of added sugar in them. I have transitioned my family to get to unsweetened applesauce. This one is an unsweetened cinnamon. It has cinnamon added to it from Earth Fare. My son loves this. So I have this in the fridge. That's one of those things. He's going through a growth spurt and we'll be getting ready for bed. And he's like, Mom, I'm starving. And so I'll give them the options. You can have veggies or you can have some applesauce, something that's light, healthy, not a processed carb. He will go down and put that in a dish and have a little bit of that and then be okay to go to bed. So that's something I always have on hand for them. And along the lines of like easy produce or easy like fruits and veggies, yeah, my kids are older. When they were babies, we didn't have these little squeegee pouch things, which are like one of the best inventions ever. But my girls still like this. My son's a little bit too old for this kind of stuff. My girls like this. So this Go-Go Squeeze brand, there's different applesauces, but there's also some that incorporate veggies in them as well. And my youngest will take these in her lunch. So this one just has apples, peach, and sweet potato in it. And that's an easy way to sneak in some veggies too. And she really doesn't know. She thinks these are great. So this is something I have on hand, great for taking in the car. If you're trying to get fruits and veggies, kind of sneak them into their diet, this is an easy thing to throw in your bag to have in the car as well. Another thing we use all the time is raisins. They love these organic raisins, little boxes. This is something I always have on hand, and it's better than grabbing fruit snacks or something like that. But all of my kids like these as well. What else? Fruit cups. We always have these on hand. I only buy the ones that are packed in juice. I don't buy the ones that are in syrup because, again, the fruit is sweet enough. You don't need the added sugar. But this is something I always have on hand as well for lunches, for quick things at breakfast. If I don't have whatever fresh fruit cut up, my youngest likes to take these. All you do, you have to pull it off, and then they're ready to go for breakfast. So those are some quick, easy things that I do to get fruits and veggies into my kids besides what we have at dinner. I usually always have some kind of steamed vegetable or salad or something like that with dinner. So that's that. Next, I know this is kind of a hard thing because some families deal with nut allergies, and I know that's really scary. So if your family has to stay away from them, I know that's awful. In my family, fortunately, we don't have any nut allergies. So a big thing that we like are pistachios. My youngest thinks it's so fun to like crack open the shell and eat these. So that's something I have on hand that they will take. That's another way to get protein in, a plant-based protein. And I recently found, if you're somebody that likes pistachios and can do nuts, these little snack packs, which is awesome because it gives you a perfect serving. I know nuts, if you like nuts or seeds, they're really easy to overeat. This is an awesome little thing, and I bought these for myself to be able to throw them in my purse. And if I'm out shopping or whatever and starving, it's an easy way to get some good healthy fat. So I found this big box at BJ's. That's a snack pack. Now I know some schools you can't send in nuts, and that's totally fine. What I've gotten into is eating more seeds recently. I like this Go Raw brand, and they have sprouted seeds. So this is sunflower. They also have a sprouted pumpkin, which are awesome, and a sprouted watermelon seed, which my son really likes. And basically just the sprouting helps you to absorb more nutrients from it, basically. But it's a good source of protein. So this is something you can sprinkle on whatever. Sprinkle on a salad, sprinkle on, just snack on them. And it's another way to get protein in your kids that's plant-based. So I love this brand. So nuts and seeds, we try to do that as much. Sometimes say for dinner, last night I had asparagus, roasted asparagus, and we'll sprinkle some of the sprouted sunflower seeds on top for like the crunchy topping. And that's another way to sneak in some healthy fat and some protein with your veggies. So my kids like that. Okay, if you can't do nuts, I know this is kind of hard, but another one, if you're looking for some like grain-free, so some people try to avoid grain or gluten. These are some other awesome snack ideas that I have on hand. This Warrior Mix is gluten-free, dairy-free, grain-free, and really nothing, no junk whatsoever, really clean ingredients, and this one is awesome. There's a couple. This one's a chocolate buzz. There's a apple pie one that's really good. So if you can do nuts, it's made with almonds and sunflower seeds and coconut and pumpkin seeds and that kind of thing. This brand is really good if you want to stay away from gluten and dairy. This is another one that is a grain-free granola. That's this Purely Elizabeth brand. They have some really great granola that has oats and stuff in it. But this one is sunflower seeds, cashews, pumpkin seeds, chia seeds, almond flour, coconut oil. This one's really good as well to snack on if that's something that you can have in your house. All right. So what's next? Another thing that my kids love, they used to love the Quaker oatmeal or granola bars. And then I started transitioning out of that. We like this Kind brand. And the reason it's gluten-free, which I try to cut back on the gluten, but it's made out of oats, millet, buckwheat, amaranth, and quinoa. But these are great to have on hand as well as just another kind of like a healthier version of a granola bar. My kids like those as well. And another thing I forgot to get out, if you can have nuts in your house, my kids like these for a treat. These Kind nut bars. There's tons of flavors. These have less than 5 grams of sugar. I stick to the ones with less than 5 grams of sugar. But this is a dark chocolate mocha almond. Almond mint. There's a couple different ones that have 5 grams of sugar or less. But that is kind of a healthier alternative to a like candy bar. And then you're getting in the healthy fat from the nuts and seeds in it. So these are really great too. All right, close that up. All right, 2 more things. I know I'm going through a lot of information just to give you some ideas of things to look for the next time you're shopping. Again, this is one that's not perfect. It's kind of one of those getting to better before you get to best. I really encourage drinking water all day long with my kids. So when they get up in the morning, they have a cup of water with breakfast. When they go to school, I pack I love these by Thermos, pack ice water in there, and that goes in their backpack every day. But in their lunch, I will let them have a juice box occasionally. We're working on, like, I'll do water some days and I'll do juice some days. Juicy Juice, which is 100% juice, has these little like 4-ounce. I'll show you the difference. This is like a traditional juice box. And then they also have a smaller one. So they can still get, I'll pack this in their lunch. So they're still getting a little bit of juice, which they like. Obviously, it's very sweet, so my kids like it. So they'll have this and still feel like they're getting some juice, but then if they're still thirsty, they'll drink water. So that's another way to cut down on sugar too, is these. But another thing, not perfect, but something that my kids have for a treat are these, and I don't have the full box there, but it's a Capri Sun flavored water. So it's like the little squeezy pouch. They think these are really cool. We always have these when we have parties at our house. But there's no artificial sweeteners. There's no high fructose corn syrup. There's no artificial colors, flavors, or preservatives. And the sweetener in here is stevia leaf. So for instance, if you have, let's see what the difference is. This is a 6.75 ounce container of juice. Now granted, it's real juice. Has 26 grams of sugar, okay? One of these pouches has only 8 grams of sugar, and it's from stevia leaf. So my kids think that these are a treat, but they are sweet. They're a little bit, give you a little bit of flavor besides just plain water, but it has like a third of what the sugar content would be in having a cup of juice. So this is something that I have on hand as well. Okay, and last but not least, our newest thing for snacks, which my kids start school next week, is we are super excited just to, I'm always looking for new snacks or healthier versions of things or other ways to sneak in fruits and vegetables in my kids' diet. There is a brand new smoothie mix called Daily Sunshine, which I am excited about. We just got these. So there's a chocolate and there's a strawberry banana. And what's cool about it, it's called a 3-in-1 smoothie. So it is non-GMO, soy-free, dairy-free, gluten-free, no artificial sweeteners, flavors, or preservatives, and it gives your kids a full serving of organic fruits and vegetables, healthy fats, and plant-based protein in the shake. It's 120 calories and it has 10 grams of protein. All you do is take, you can take water. We're kind of experimenting. So we've done water a couple times. Yesterday I did unsweetened almond milk for my son with the chocolate, and he really liked that. But basically, there's a special little cup that I got. You can put the powder in the bottom, put whatever, if you want to do water, take this with you, and then shake it up on the go. There's a little, and you can use whatever kind of shaker cup you have. But this one has this little blender thing in it. So literally yesterday, I put in 8 ounces of unsweetened almond milk, the chocolate powder, went like this, and he drank it down. And he's like, this is really good. So something that is hard for me now that all 3 of my kids are school age is they get home from school, we have to rush through the homework thing, try to get dinner on the table or whatever, but sometimes we're rushing through homework and we're out the door to dance class or sports practice or something like that. So we're running around a lot in the evening. This is something I'm excited to try out for them as an afternoon snack when they're doing their homework, as something quick and easy. We can just shake up and they can drink it while they're doing homework, and it's getting a full serving of fruits and vegetables in, and protein and healthy fat, which is so important to have that well-balanced thing. And it's so hard to find that in kids' snacks. And then just the on-the-go feature of if I'm picking up one kid from one practice and we have to go somewhere else, I can bring this in the car, shake it up for whoever, and they can drink it in the car and have a healthy snack. So I'm super excited about this as well. And like I said, that's a new thing that we are trying out, but I'm super excited to have that option now as something healthy for them. And my kids like Shakeology as well, but that's kind of more for when they're really starving, and we use it as like a meal replacement for them, but they like that as well. So this video got really long. I just am so passionate about sharing all of this because I want to empower you as a parent to have the tools to make better choices for yourself and your family, and just be armed with more skills to work on a healthy lifestyle, okay? It is possible. There's great products out there. There's great recipes out there to cook healthy for your family, to have quick, healthy snacks for your family. So I absolutely love helping people on their mission to live a healthier lifestyle and teach their kids how to grow up eating healthy. So if you have any questions on any of this, if you need any help getting started, transitioning your family to healthier choices, I would love to help. So just place a comment below. You can email me at noellerussellfitness@gmail.com, and I'm happy to help anytime. Have a great day.